Hello again. It's Jinteki Flatline time against our good friend Noise. This is a pretty good matchup for us usually. We have some ways to handle siphons, and in general there's not that much draw power unless they have Wild Side. This is an okay hand. I've got some ice. Actually, a third of the ice in my deck is already here. So let's ice up and get $1. Next turn I might try this House of Knives Hokusai Pup thing. Kind of see what he does. Noise Workshop. This is a blast from the past. I used to play this deck like before Jackson Howard came out. Oh, those were the days. He has messed up his personal workshop. Oh, we got it this time. No problem. So is this right? Draw a card, install workshop, put Grimoire on it. He's got a click left. Getting $1 again. Sure. So our plan for next turn, we're going to need 3 for this, 2 for that, and 1 for that. And ooh, Yagura. I think I want the Yagura on R&D. So let's see what he thinks of this. A lot of Noise players just don't want to run when they're doing this workshop thing. They'll just spam viruses all day. In which case we can get away with this House of Knives quite comfortably. If he was playing a more aggressive Noise build, I would probably put the Hokusai on one of the centrals. But I think he's going to dirtle for a little while. Get this House of Knives going. Knock out the Grimoire. Don't care. Next up is probably to draw quite a bit. Try to find Jackson. Jackson kind of counters Noise and vice versa. Noise makes Jackson less good at what he usually does. Let's res the pup. They can spend money. He's going to come through. We can smack him for a net damage. I want this res for later on, so I don't mind paying for it now, going broke. Like, yeah, he can run centrals, but meh, there's nothing in my HQ. Pays 4, so he's going also poor. He should probably not run for the rest of this turn. If he knows what's good for him. Yep. Does the safe thing. So we now have found all 3 Yaguras. This is either the best thing ever if he does not play Yogg, or it's the worst thing ever if he does play Yogg. So you notice we have 6 0-cost ice out. No big deal. We're gonna hopefully have more parasites than he has things to shoot. Yeah, I actually think 2 Yagura. Well, definitely want this EMP. With this current hand, this is kind of dead. I have not been that happy with this card in general. It's either really good or it's really useless. And when it's useless, it's kind of when you want it to not be useless. Like if you're behind and there's trashing all your remotes, that's when you need some money, and this is not doing it at that time. It's gonna parasite my pup to death. This is fine. I'll put the Agura to replace it next turn. Oh, he's not sure how to use the workshop. Double click the parasite. Don't need to type it. There he goes. Yip yip to the grave. And he's in my server. He has 4 cards, so I won't bother with the knives. Usually I'd only knife him if I thought he had something special in hand, or if he was low on cards and might die as a result. Trashing your Ronin. Meh. Didn't actually have to draw that Ronin or install it, so him paying 2 is pretty fine with me. I'm not sure how much this Scorch will do. He's not going to float tags because he has Workshop and also these daily casts. So he will have $4 on his turn. I'm going to try this field, and my reasoning is that he might think it's safe because I can't trigger Snare. And therefore, he can go for it, and then he will. He's been drawing his cards the hard way, you know, click for draw. So every card we knock out of his hand is basically an action he's lost. Yeah, so I'll pay 1 and he'll pay a card. And 2, he's gonna run out of parasites before I run out of ice. Well, maybe not actually. If he has enough deja vus, he can just keep that going. Philotic's gone into the yard, which is very tragic. That's probably one of the cards I least want him to have. Might be time to draw a little more and try to get a Jackson. Of course, my chances are not great. Portfolio again, don't want it. Not a Jackson. Okay, House of Knives. I can try installing that later. Really don't think this is going to help me this game. I need a lot of draws to get it even to easy mark, or I guess Beanstalk Royalties territory. In a game like this, Private Contracts is probably the better card. You know, it gives you a little bit of money. Or even Pad Campaign. Would be not unreasonable because you can just throw it out there. He didn't run the Saheed Field. If I put the Fetal in, he can take it, but he'll take 4 damage. I'm going to try the House of Knives. If I can get 2 House of Knives out, that would be a big win for us. We could really threaten this field to do 5 damage. So now that I have $4, he might not run it because it could be a snare. Who knows what his reasoning is though, because he didn't take the bait last time. Yeah, why not kill my other Agura? Why not? guess I could have kept the money for snare, but I don't want to activate a snare anyway with this House of Knives waiting. But it has convinced him that he should now run here. So I think it was just kind of unlucky last time that he didn't run the Psychic Field. Well, let's play this hedge fund. Things aren't looking great. If he gets this Philotic, I'll be sad, because I kind of want that. I don't know yet if he would run this Overwriter if I were to drop it in behind that pup and advance it twice. Really don't know. Like the super ballsy play is to put the Future Perfect in there. That's usually wrong because the risk reward is skewed towards the opponent. Like even if I were to go to 4 points suddenly, I don't just win. Let's draw. Still not a Jackson. If I can feed this to him. Chimera. I have options with this Chimera. I might just bluff it an R&D so he won't run there. Unfortunately with Darwin coming out, it's not going to have actual power, but I can at least make him worry about it. Maybe paying more Cyber Feeder credits than you otherwise would. Like, oh, what if it's Kamainu behind there? And he has milled Future Perfect with the Darwin. So, above average mills so far. He milled 3 cards and got 5 points. It's kind of ridiculous. But he may fear running there for the time being. It's not one of these games where I'd rather have Shock than the Hokusai. Though the Hokusai did do work this game, I was okay with him paying 4 of his early credits to get rid of it. He's paying through, accessing. Yep, so I'll knife him, getting the Stim Hack. Don't think that's a really important card to get. It's gonna take the Fetal for 3 damage. Got rid of the Quality Time. That's pretty pleasant for us, and the Medium is even better to get rid of. Draws back up. So if there's a window to ever score Future Perfect, it's probably now. But I mean, it puts him to 6 points if we get it wrong. And then you can run Arcades for the win. I think I'm still on the attitude that trying to score Future Perfect is kind of pointless. Let's just stick that in there. And we've got 3 of these. That's just unfortunate. I'll put this out 2 in case it'll distract him. Getting the Gila would be a nice little boost to our economy. So here's the thing with the Scorch. It's sitting in my hand the entire game, and I don't really have space for it. The question is, like, does my opponent have to mess up for this to have value? Maybe the question is yes. Or the answer is yes. I don't know. It's taking up 4 influence also, which is substantial. It could be improving my economy, like I could just put beanstalks instead of those diversifieds, or I could put, you know, whatever other goodies of influence, green level clearance, blue level clearance. Okay, so now we've got some juice. If he runs this, which he might, then we'll be way ahead. Now, if I give him one choice, does putting the snare in the other server actually help? Maybe? He kind of wants to run unadvanced cards in the sense that they could be Jacksons that just ruin his milling plan. So we've given ourselves a couple chances here. He is going to bite on the triple advanced card. That is what we call legendary. Now, I'm not sure if that really was a mistake for him or just unlucky. The Ronin threat definitely looms over him. He hasn't been having too many cards at the end of turn. And like Ronin EMP is kind of an issue for him. I'm going to try to draw for a Jackson. It's not a Jackson. Alright. I'll just click my Gila so I can keep snare money up. I'm hoping he's not desperate enough yet to try Archives. I mean, if he does, it works out for us a little bit. He'll have to pay 2 for the Yagura. Take a net. Oh, but he would still win off the Future Perfects if he gets them. He's gonna run that. That's fine. Didn't really have the money to advance it. I could have advanced it once instead of drawing, but it's kind of a weird looking trap in that case. Kind of strange. I guess it was out for a couple turns, and maybe he felt that it was a Jackson that was just saving for his run in Archives. Okay, Nerve Agent. So that implies that I should leave the snare in my hand rather than play it. We've got 2 of our EMPs, which is great. I need to draw for a Jackson. That's super good. Do I leave this snare? Do I think I'll ever run that snare? Does give him a chance if I leave it out. So far he's been really hesitant to run this server. Put that out. There's already 3 Dungeons and Archives, so I have to hang on to this. It'll protect itself reasonably well. I'm so tempted to put the snare out, but this will kill him just as easily. Because once... oh no, it won't. Depends how many actions he has left. If he can draw back up to 2. So if you recall, we saw Plascrete go to the discard quite a while ago. So yeah, 2 counters and has knives. So he's probably running 2 Plascretes. That's pretty typical for this kind of noise deck. But he hasn't seen the score check because he hasn't run HQ ever. He's really thinking about what this could be. He needs 4 cards just to survive a snare. So I mean, he could draw, run, and draw, which would end up very badly for him. So that's the Chimera. Obviously, there's no point in resing that. Is there a point in knifing him? Barely. Let's do no res. This just gives us a chance if he gets a fetal. Oh, yes. So having done the odds, we gave ourselves the best chance for a EMP win there, and it worked out for us. Shoot him with the EMPs, and he did. So there you have it. Another game of Jinteki Death. Thanks for watching.